So, an update on the Judy Wilyman anti-vaccine PhD thesis. Finally, we've got some more news. Now, a quick refresh for those maybe jumping in thinking, what is this? Well, Judy Wilyman is a student at the University of Wollongong in Australia who last November published a PhD thesis on the fact that vaccines don't work, that the World Health Organization is somehow covering up this. She said that the smallpox vaccine doesn't work, even though there has been no outbreak of smallpox since the 70s, thanks to the smallpox vaccine. Again, all this without no evidence. And things just keep on getting stranger and stranger and stranger, because you have to ask, what is going on at the university? And you will have to ask yourself, I will ask this question again at the end of this video, because what has come out of the Freedom of Information Act just doesn't make any sense. And it all comes down to the examiners. Now, out comes the first examiner. Now, normally when a PhD thesis is sent to two examiners the first time, now if they're they say, hey, it's good, there needs to be bits and pieces changed, it goes forward. However, in this case, one examiner approved of it, the other one didn't. And we're going to just read you some of the extracts of what came out of this. One of the two unnamed examiners who reviewed the thesis suggested that it was definitely not worthy of achieving a PhD status and was more in line of a master's level thesis. That's the first thing, right? The examiner expressed serious concerns about the lack of engagement with existing literature and the lack of an appropriate theoretical framework. They also felt the thesis showed no evidence that Wilyman conducted original research, nor that it demonstrated that she had made a significant contribution to the knowledge of the subject. The only areas in which the examiner felt Wilyman had met the standards was that it was presented in a manner of the level appropriate to the field of research and that the literary standard was as adequate. In other words, it basically met the standards of a presentation put at that level. So what did the next examiner do? The second examiner, however, this is where it gets interesting, praised the thesis and recommended awarding a PhD without revision. A university summary of the opinion suggests that the second examiner said it represented meticulous study. Anyone who's seen the actual thesis or seen my original video or read anything about this knows that this was not meticulously studied at all. There is a mountain of evidence that she has blatantly ignored, and as I said at the beginning, she says that the smallpox vaccine doesn't work. This I do not understand what is going on. It is insane. So what happened in this situation? Well, guess what? They brought in a third examiner. Right? And then again, this is where it gets even more strange. The third examiner, also named, said that while the thesis assessed showed Wilyman conducted original research, it did not make a significant contribution to the knowledge of the subject, had no indication of a broad understanding of the discipline wherein the work was conducted, and that it was not suitable for publication. You have two examiners here basically saying that Wilyman does not deserve a PhD thesis of what she has written. Now, what happened then? Because you're like, hang on, how did she get the PhD thesis? Well, it turns out she received it. She apparently made changes, although, again, what changes we don't know. But instead of being resubmitted to be sort of re-examined, according to what happened, only one examiner was asked for their views, And surprise, surprise, it was the examiner that gave it the pass. So Wilyman basically got a PhD thesis through with two people disagreeing with her. She was outvoted 2-1. A consensus was not reached that this was... Again, you have two examiners saying that, that basically the paper was bollocks. There's no other better way to put it. When the only thing the examiner can comment on is that it's at the level of a presentation you would expect, and that the third examiner said that it was not suitable for publication. You have to ask the question of what the hell is going on at Wollongong University where they can allow a paper, as I've said before, based in conspiracy theories, to be allowed to be published academically, and for her to be given some sort of credence. Again, she needs to have this PhD taken away from her. There is absolutely no evidence to say that she has deserved this PhD in any way, shape or form. You have two examiners, one examiner saying that it was not fit, a paper that was released was not fit to be published. So again, I've asked the question as I start at the beginning, what the hell are the University of Wollongong doing? It boggles my mind, it really does. And if you are a student, an alumni, you need to be on the university going, what the hell? Because this makes your university that you came from, that you have a legitimate PhD thesis from, or a degree from, it makes you look bad to say that they're willing to hand out a PhD thesis to someone who basically wrote their thesis based on, conspiracy theories and wasn't able to back up any of their evidence, and basically wrote nonsense. She might as well have written a fairy tale. But that's what she did though. And again, what is going on at this university? It's unbelievable.